Hiya. Yeah, so obviously what I'm talking about today is everyone's favorite bit of SEO, which is link building. Let me just figure this out. So yeah, and basically what I'm going to show you is how we built quite a lot of backlinks to a pretty boring page. Let me use this, just this is easier. Yeah, so this is the referring domains graph for that page in Ahrefs. You can see got around 1,800 referring domains at the moment, so nearly 2,000 websites linking to this single page. And it's still growing as well, so we're still getting these links. And this is a breakdown of that backlink profile. So you can see this is pretty normal. Most of the links are on the lower DR side, which is just a reflection of how the web is. But we've actually got quite a lot of DR70 links. So it's not just little bloggers and little websites linking to this page. We're getting links from really big websites and really well-known websites as well. So I think there's 182-ish at my last count of these really strong links. So these good links that we're building. So you're probably thinking like, why? What is it that attracted all of these links? What page? It must be something really cool to get all of this attention, right? Well, not really. This is the page. It's just a blog post of 80-odd curated SEO statistics. So some of these are from studies that we've done. Some of these are just things we found around the web. Basically just a list of SEO statistics. So how did this happen? Like, how did we get the links to this page? Well, basically, the deal is that this page ranks for what we like to call source keywords. So these are the things that bloggers, journalists search for when they want to find a statistic or a fact or a figure to back up something that they're writing about. So you can see that we've got keywords like SEO statistics, SEO facts, SEO figures. So when journalists search for these things, they find our page, they find one of these stats on it, they quote it, and they link to it. So if we just look at a quick example. So let's say that a journalist writing a post about the relationship between, say, SEO or search and social media. And they make the point in that post that most people's journeys online start with a search engine. So they go to Google because they don't know how many people. They want to put a stat in there. They want to actually have some real information. So they go to Google and they search how many people start with the search engine. And you can see that our page pops up #1, and they've got a statistic there to quote. So they put that in their post, and this is a real example. Someone actually quoting this statistic, and they link to our page in the process because we're kind of the source. Like, we quote the actual source on our page, but most bloggers, journalists, are a bit lazy. They just link to our page. So we get the links a lot of the time. So yeah, that's how it's done. You can just go ahead and create one of these pages, and you'll get like thousands of links, right? Well, not quite. So what I want to share are 5 steps to success to actually make this work. Let me see if this works. Yeah, so the first thing is to choose the right topic. So when I say the right topic, obviously we're talking about these kind of keywords like that people are going to be searching for, stats and figures and all that stuff. But you need something that people are searching for and that people are going to link to. So if you translate this into SEO speak, you basically want a keyword with some kind of search volume at least, and that has a high keyword difficulty score. So the first one's pretty obvious. If no one's searching for it, if there's no volume, no bloggers, no journalists are going to find your stats page, and no one's going to link to it. But the high KD point might seem a bit odd, because usually, if you want to rank for stuff, you're looking for low keyword difficulty because it's easier. So why high? Well, it kind of depends on the tool that you're using, because obviously Ahrefs, whatever, they all have their own keyword difficulty scores. But our keyword difficulty score is derived directly from the number of links to the top ranking pages. So what that means is that if a keyword has a high keyword difficulty score, all of the top ranking pages, or many of them, have a lot of backlinks, which means people are linking to it. People are searching for it, and then they're linking to it. So if you look at a couple of examples of that, this keyword research, really high keyword difficulty score. If you look at the top ranking pages, they've all got hundreds or thousands of websites linking to them. If you look at a really low keyword difficulty keyword like SaaS keyword research, and then look at the SERP, we've got like two or 3 links to these pages. So these two things are connected. If it's a high KD keyword, it means that the top ranking pages have got links, and if they've got links, well, it's probably because people are searching and linking to them. So you can find these keywords pretty easily in a keyword research tool like Ahrefs. Just plug in the topics, whatever you want to make one of these pages about. We put in stuff like SEO, content marketing. Just go to the keyword ideas report and filter, use the include filter. So you can basically say, find me keywords about these topics that mention these topics that also mention things like statistics, facts, figures. And then you can filter for high KD keywords. So when we did this, we found SEO statistics as a keyword. And again, you can see all of those pages, a lot of those pages have a lot of backlinks to them. So this is why we went ahead and created a page about this. So that's the first point. You need to make sure that you've got your topic right. You then need to actually give journalists what they want. And what I mean by this is statistics that they actually are looking for. So the best way to do this is to take those top ranking pages that have links and look at what statistics caused people to link to them. Like, what statistics are on those pages that actually earned those pages links. So this is a link profile for one of those top ranking statistics pages about SEO statistics, not our one of the ones that I was researching. And you can see it's got loads of links. And if you throw this into Ahrefs and you go to the anchors report, this basically shows you the anchor text, the clickable part of the link that people are using when they link to this page. If you just skim through this, you can see statistics jump out at you pretty quickly, usually. In this case, there's this 93% statistic, 93% of online experiences, 93% blah, blah, blah. So we've already got some idea that this 93% statistic is responsible, is the reason that this page has a lot of links. We can see just how many if we go to the backlinks report and we filter for backlinks with 93, that statistic basically, in the anchor or surrounding text. If we then filter for one link per domain, we see that basically this page has earned links from 750 odd websites because of this one statistic, just because it had this statistic somewhere on the page. So yeah, what we did is we repeated this process for other top ranking pages for that keyword and looked for other statistics, and we just made a list of them. We made a list of the statistics that were responsible for earning the most links to these pages. Then what we did is the next part, which is we replaced the outdated ones. So we've got these statistics, we know what journalists are linking because of. We don't really want to just shove those on our page because a lot of them are outdated. We don't want to keep spreading this misinformation and this crap kind of content, crap figures. So we replaced the outdated ones. And this is the process we went through, basically. If the statistic that you found that people are linking because of is up to date, you can just include that on your page. It's fine. Otherwise, you need to look for an up-to-date statistic. This requires a bit of digging, a bit of research, but usually you can get there. And then you can just include that new stat. If you can't do either of these things, just forget about it. Like, you don't want to publish statistics that were published 20 years ago, even if it means you getting backlinks. It's just a bit crap. But yeah, an example of this is that, again, this 93% of online experiences statistic. When we dug into this, we realized it was from a report that was published in 2006. And we were doing this in 2020, so it was like, 14 years out of date. So we did a bit of digging, and we found this statistic, which was from a report published in 2019, which is slightly different. 68% of online experiences begin with a search engine. So that's the one we put on our page. And we basically just repeated this process for all of these stats that we found. If they were up to date, that's fine. We just published them on our page, linked to the source. If they weren't up to date, we'd find the up-to-date one, and we'd include that instead. So yeah, that's most of the work is kind of done there. So you've made an effort, obviously, at this point to find all of these statistics and find what people are actually linking because of. Don't make the mistake of burying them on the page, because then you'll shoot yourself in the foot and all of this work becomes pointless. So if you look at our page, literally like 20, 30 word intro, and then we've got a subheading that just says top SEO statistics. And under this is where we put all of those popular statistics. So all of the things that journalists are generally linking because of, we just put it under this subheading. We just put them right there front and center so people can find them. They don't have to click back and go and find another page. We want them to find them on our page so we get the link. So yeah, all of this work is basically leading up to this point, which is obviously when you're doing this, you're competing with pages that have a lot of backlinks. So even if you've got stuff like content freshness on your side or other elements, you're probably not just going to magically rank because you're competing with strong pages. So you need to actually go out and build some links as a starting point. And this is where all of this work actually pays off, because you can use it to do this. So what I mean by this is, if we go back to this example of a competing statistics page, and remember we found that 750 people basically were linking because of this one statistic. And again, this statistic was outdated, and we found a more up-to-date one. So what we did is we just reached out to all of those 700 people, well, not all of them, but a good chunk of them, and just basically said something like this. This is pretty much what we said. So we just said, hi, I saw that you mentioned how 93% of online experiences begin with a search engine on your page about whatever. That stat is actually 14 years old. More recent research suggests that this number's gone down to 68%. I think this is lower because social and other sources now account for more traffic. We published this and a few other SEO stats here, and that's our page. Not sure if you're actively editing posts, but if you are, might be worth an update. So we're basically just saying, look, you're quoting this outdated statistic from 14 years ago. We've done the research, we published a more up-to-date one, maybe you just want to swap it out. So pretty classic outreach, it's nothing special, like you probably received 1 million of these emails. What makes it a little bit better than most of the crap you get is that it actually is relevant, and we're talking about a stat that you've actually said. It's not just, hi, great stuff, all of that nonsense. So yeah, we just did this exact same thing for all of these stats. We just found the people that were actually linking because of them, and we edited that template. So you can see the pitch on the right there. We just swapped it around a little bit so that we were giving people a relevant pitch. So yeah, the results, what actually happened? Well, we sent 470 odd emails in total, plus a few bouncers. 27 people linked to us as a direct result of this campaign. So we got 27 new referring domains. So this was a 5.71% conversion rate, which is pretty good. And for us, this was enough to kickstart what we call the vicious cycle of SEO, or I suppose more the virtuous cycle of SEO in this case, which is the idea that the page that has links and ranks, and it tends to get more links, and then it keeps ranking, and then just this cycle just continues. So this was enough for us to kickstart us ranking, and then obviously people started searching for it, and then we got more and more links over time. So yeah, I want to end this with just a few caveats, because I don't want you to think this is all just like anyone can do this and it always works out perfectly and is great for everyone. The first thing is that brand matters when you're doing this, unfortunately. So someone on YouTube actually said this a few years ago. They basically just told us when we published this case study, this works for you because you're Ahrefs, it's not going to work for me because I'm just a little blog of some kind. And this is true. This is not unreasonable. It is true. But actually, this is a page that my colleague Sam kind of did a smaller scale version of this a few months ago, or last year, or not too long ago. And you can see this page, top remote work statistics. He did the exact same thing, did the same kind of outreach, the same kind of pictures, a totally unknown site. And yet, it actually didn't work as well. But he still got a link from Rolling Stone magazine. So this stuff still works. It might not work as well for some people over others. If you're, John Lewis, it's going to work better than if you're just Josh's blog or whatever. But that's pretty obvious, I think. So the other thing is that conversions are down. So we did this in 2020. And since then, people just aren't linking as much for free anymore. People want money, all of that stuff. So yeah, the average, I think, these stats are from just a small sample. So my colleague again, asked a few people, what was your conversion rate generally in 2020 versus now? So people said 2020, 6%. 2022 dropped to a third of that. So people aren't replying to these emails as much. We're all tired of these emails, obviously. You've got to be a bit more creative. But again, it still works. It might be a bit lower, but it still works. And yeah, one person said they just buy links, which is fair enough, whatever people want to do. But yeah, the other thing is that ranking isn't always easy. So I kind of touched on this point already. You're competing when you do this because you're actually looking for pages that, keywords rather, that are high difficulty. This means they've got links. You're competing with strong pages. It's difficult to get there. You've got other stuff on your site. It's not just about links. Like I said, content freshness. You've got a new statistics page. You've made more effort. All of these things factor into you being able to rank. We were able to crack this, not this SERP, but the SEO statistics one with like 50-odd links, despite other pages having thousands of them. So there are other things on your side, but yeah, it's not always easy. So I want to kind of wrap this up and just basically say, like, I'm a bit tired of people saying link building, statistics, tactics don't work. Everything works. It all still works. Things change a bit over time, and things work better for some people over others. This might work well for us. You might find, I don't know, whatever, skyscraper, whatever kind of tactic it is that you're using works for you. So yeah, you've just got to try these things and see if they work. But yeah, that's it basically. You can follow me on Twitter if you really want some crap tweets, but I'll leave it there. All right, cheers.